welcome. This is a special Money Watch edition with me, Yorela Chomba, and it's still the Finnish, Independence Week, as you can see from our beautiful flags, our Finland flag and our Zambian flag. I'm joined by the Acting Director General for Zambia Development Agency, Mr. Albert Halwampa, who is here with me as we help celebrate the Finnish independence. Good morning, sir, and welcome to Money Watch.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Halwampa, I know you're acting DG, but I'd have to ask you this question. How is the ZDA in general?
Thank you so much for that question. The Zambia Development Agency, for the sake of the viewers, is a Zambian agency under the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry that is mandated to promote trade and investment. And when I say investment, we are talking about promoting domestic investors,
Right.
so that they can build wealth, they can build jobs for this country. We also encourage foreign investors to come into Zambia and partner with Zambians to go into joint ventures with Zambians and grow this economy.
Interesting. Now, we are celebrating the Finnish independence, Mr. Halwampa, and from interviews I've had with the ambassador and the trade advisor, they play, or at least they've been seen to play an important role in promoting trade between Zambia and Finland. Tell us, how have you seen this relationship between Zambia and Finland?
Thank you very much for that question. The Zambian government and the government of Finland have worked together in the area of promoting trade and investment. As you might be aware, a few years ago in 2014, there was a project that was hosted under the Zambia Development Agency in improving the capacity of honey processes, starting from the collectors of honey, on how to improve beehives, and on how to process this honey and how to find market for this honey. So this project churned out a number of Zambian honey processors. Close to 13 companies were built capacity in terms of value chains in honey, in terms of the pure honey itself, in terms of lotions, in terms of wax, on how to package these products so that they could be sold on the international market.
Yes.
And also currently the government of Finland, in collaboration with the Zambian government, has a project called the Accelerated Growth for Small Medium Enterprises.
Yes.
That is aimed at building capacity of Zambian SMEs to be able to participate in value chains to supply to domestic market like ShopRite or Pick and Pay. And then when they grow beyond a certain capacity, we bring them on to ZDA and train them on export readiness and be able to take them to markets.
Interesting.
So that they can access these international markets, be it SADC, COMESA, and now the African Continental Free Trade Area. So very, very powerful relationship really between the government of Finland and Zambia in promoting trade and investments, to promote small, medium enterprises, startups, so that they can grow big, even into big investors within Zambia, and be able to promote jobs, grow jobs, create wealth, and export to the wider continental African market.
I'm very happy you've mentioned that, sir, and in line with promoting trade, I know you actually took part, you went with about 50 SMEs on a trip to the Democratic Republic of Congo, a trip that, among other stakeholders, the Finnish embassy through AGS took part. That sort of engagement, tell us what was a big win for you. I know you were part of that delegation.
Yeah, thank you very much for that very important question about Congo DRC.
Because that's a market.
Yes.
Our president is strong on the DRC.
Very
market.
passionate.
Yes.
Our Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, is very passionate about the Congo market.
Yes.
And his message has been emphatic on trade and investment.
Yes.
The Congo market is a huge market for the Zambian SMEs, investors, exporters. By the way, we export on average $800 million of products into the Congo DR. If you look at Congo, it has a population of almost 100 million people.
Yes.
And a quarter of that population that is based on the southern part of Congo DR,
Bordering
Katanga
Zambia.
province,
Yes.
bordering Zambia, they actually look up to Zambia for agricultural products. Mind you, the Katanga province is skewed towards mining, so their
Yes.
main activity is mining.
Yes.
So in terms of food products, they depend on Zambia. So you have almost 10,000 Congolese crossing over
Into Zambia.
into the Zambian side at Kasumbalesa, coming to buy basic necessities like tomatoes, eggs, beef, fish, mention them.
Yes.
So that market is dear to us. It's so important to Zambia. So we are encouraging Zambian SMEs to grow for export into the neighboring DRC. And the role of ZDA is to facilitate the actualization of activities in the Congo DR. For example, we recently held a trade mission into the DRC in Lubumbashi. Very, very successful. We took 58 companies. There were 18 large companies and 40 small, medium enterprises. All these companies, 99% of them are owned by Zambians or registered locally as a Zambian company.
Yes.
So the Congo DR mission, working together with the Accelerated Growth for Small Medium Enterprises that is funded by the Finnish government, was a game changer for us. Because, as a country, we believe in bilateral relationships.
Exactly.
We believe in partnerships. We believe in inclusivity. Working together, Zambians, foreign companies partnering with Zambians, whether it's to grow locally or to grow for export, that's what we are there for, to make sure that we work together.
Yeah.
We work together. And as ZDA, going forward, we are encouraging small, medium enterprises to make sure that they have this passion for entrepreneurship,
Yes.
this passion to grow for the local market, the passion to grow for export market.
Yeah, indeed.
And ZDA is there to help them, is there to handhold them. Where they have gaps, we'll find partners from elsewhere, foreign direct investors who are coming into Zambia. As I mentioned earlier, we are encouraging to partner with fellow local Zambians,
Yes.
fellow SMEs Zambians, so that we have this aspect of sustainable development in Zambia,
Yeah.
so that Zambians are empowered, so Zambians can own their own companies and be able to employ Zambians and be able to export into the wider continental market.
Indeed, and I like that you mentioned passion, because suffice to say, I think there's enough encouragement from the chief marketing officer himself, the president, and I can see from the way you're speaking, you're also passionate, and I'm sure that the people out there should actually tap into that passion. You spoke of DRC. Now, in terms of regional trade, DRC is one market. Are you looking at opportunities around the region with our other neighbors like Malawi, Angola, and Tanzania in terms of improving trade? And I mean, we've got the African Continental Free Trade Area that we're now part of. How do you, as the DA, how are you making sure that Zambia is well placed in the AFCTA?
Thank you very much for that question. The president's passion
Yeah.
for trade and investment has encouraged all of us at ZDA. He is setting the pace for us to walk the talk.
Yeah.
He is setting the trade and investment agenda that we've never seen before in this country. And believe me, there's a lot of excitement from the private sector
Yeah.
to see the head of state promoting trade and investment in a very bold manner.
Right.
Okay? In a very bold manner. So as ZDA, we were very happy that we are in this fresh air environment
Yes.
in terms of trade and investment. Now, to actualize what the president is talking about, the Zambia Development Agency has developed a strategy which we call N8+1. 8 means that all the 8 neighboring countries surrounding Zambia, those are our target markets. +1 means South Africa, Because if you look at the trade between Zambia and South Africa, it's quite huge. In terms of regional market, of course, we have Congo DRC number 1.
Yes.
South Africa is number 2. You've got Zimbabwe number 3, Malawi number 4. So we did an analysis that of all the trade, all the non-traditional exports, anything apart from copper and cobalt is non-traditional export. 67 to 70% is going into the neighboring countries, plus South Africa. Then we said, let us focus our resources into these 8 neighboring countries. Let us start with a base as a land-linked country. By the way, there's no country like Zambia on this earth that has got 8 surrounding neighbors. That is a huge plus to Zambia.
Yeah.
It means that investors can come into Zambia and make Zambia a hub for production into value chains, global and continental value chains, to make sure that we export to the continental Africa. The African Continental Free Trade Area, of which Zambia has ratified, needs products that are originated in Africa. And we are telling the whole world, we are telling the whole Africa that Zambia is the hub. Because we have all the neighboring countries, 8 of them, plus South Africa. You can come into Zambia, set up in Zambia, produce products to whatever quantities, quality, according to rules of origin, and be able to export into the whole of Africa.
Right.
Zambia is the place, and I can tell you, because the president now is clearly providing a conducive environment in promoting trade and investment, there's a lot of inflow into Zambia. There's a lot of appetite by foreign direct investors to come into Zambia. But as ZDA, we are saying, okay, come, but partner with Mr. Mwansa there, who is producing maybe cooking oil, partner with them so that you grow that company into a multinational.
So you're pairing.
Exactly. We are making sure that companies that are coming from outside Zambia are pairing with local companies so that they can grow capacity, so that we can have the Dangotes of Zambia as well.
Fantastic.
That's the formula, you know. So we are saying, come into Zambia, go into joint ventures with Zambian companies, go into partnerships with Zambian companies, and ZDA is going to play that role. And by the way, our Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Honorable Chipoka Mulenga, is very passionate in making sure that foreign companies are partnering with Zambian companies.
Interesting.
To build capacity, to transfer skills, technology, and otherwise, so that this country can develop at a pace we've never seen before. So yes, the African Continental Free Trade Area, Zambia is game. And we are starting with 8 neighbors, plus South Africa, and then begin to move consistently into the wider of Africa. We use SADC as a benchmark, we use COMESA as a benchmark, and we use the surrounding neighbors as a benchmark to fully actualize our exports into the African Continental Free Trade Area.
So in case there's somebody out there who is still blank and they're enjoying and are encouraged by what you've actually said, I like the N8+1. It sounds very, very catchy and very inviting. Maybe you can help them. What opportunities do you see as ZDA that Zambian businessmen, whether large scale or small scale, can tap into to be ready for N8+8 agenda?
Thank you so much. The opportunities that exist in this strategy of N8+1 is that, firstly, as ZDA, we are going to build capacity in our SMEs, small, medium enterprises, owned by Zambians, 100% Zambians, train them on how to export. Because you can have the product and not know how to export it.
Exactly.
So that's the role of ZDA, to build capacity in these companies so that they can know how to export, and also help them on how to produce products for export. So ZDA undertakes market research in all these market countries to make sure that we give these SMEs correct information, correct attributes of their products, correct labeling, correct packaging, so that the products are suited for market. Then when we bring these SMEs into a level of production and a level of quality, then we now take them to markets. We take them to those countries through trade fairs or trade promotion missions like we had in DRC, and then bring a cohort of importers, whether it's agricultural products or whether it's protective wear or it's cooking oil, in sectors where SMEs in Zambia have competitive advantage. For example, 70% of our people depend on agriculture. So agriculture value chains are a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Go and buy soybeans and crush it and make cooking oil and export into Congo.
Yeah.
Go and buy fish or grow the fish in the fish pond or get it from Kariba and add value to that fish. Or go and buy offals or beef and then package it and sell into the DRC. So that's what ZDA is there for, to help SMEs access markets so that Zambia can earn enough foreign exchange so that we are able to balance, the Zambia's accounts in terms of creating our own forex, so that we don't depend on borrowed money in terms of foreign exchange. So we need to build slowly our productive capacity, our manufacturing, so that our Zambian people should be able to participate in these value chains. Where we have gaps, we work with partners like Finland or Germany or the UK to help us fill up these gaps so that our Zambian SMEs are able to produce products that can be sold at international level anywhere. But because we have these agreements like SADC Commerce and the ACFTA, we'll start with these markets because we know that Zambia has a lot of comparative advantages in these closed markets.
Interesting. Finally, Mr. Alompa, having said everything you've said, you have a vision for Zambia. You have a wish list. You have a dream. So as ZDA and you as acting DG, what is your vision or strategy? And I'll give you the time period. I'm sure 3-year to 5-year strategy, Mr. Alompa. Just help us understand as we wind up.
Yeah, thank you so much. The Zambia Development Agency really would like to walk the talk of the president to make sure that Zambia invests and trades, locally, regionally, continental, and at world stage.
Yeah.
So ZDA will be drafting its strategic plan to suit the aspirations of the new Dawn government of increasing trade and investment in Zambia, so that by the end of the 5 years, we should be able to see considerable number of jobs and wealth created by Zambians and for Zambians. So what are we saying? We are saying Zambia is aspiring to be an industrialized, middle-class and prosperous country by the year 2030. And how do we achieve that as ZDA is to tap into the medium-term national development plans that successive governments have been using. But now we are glad that the new Dawn government will be now rolling out the 8th National Development Plan. And ZDA, pivoting on the 8th National Development Plan, will be developing a strategy that will be able to make sure that Zambians are able to invest in their country, they are able to produce products for exports to supply into the neighboring countries. Of course, Congo #1, and the other neighbors, plus South Africa, whether commerce or SADC, and also into the broader continental free trade market, which is 1.2 billion consumers and also close to 3.4 trillion GDP, providing opportunities for investment and export. What we are saying is that by the end of 5 years, ZDA should be the champion in creating jobs for youth and women, also for creating investments, attracting investments in the green economy, to make sure that the copper we produce, we create value here, we add value here. We want to roll into the production of electric vehicles in Zambia, not just exporting the copper in its raw form, but to make sure that the copper we produce feeds into the green economy by attracting investors to produce electric vehicles in Zambia as a hub. The manganese we have, we're going to promote value chains so that we manufacture batteries for electrical vehicles in Zambia. Also promote renewable energy so that we can take advantage of our solar
capacity
endowment so that we can invest in this renewable energy for our people. So we'll be looking at all these sectors: agriculture, infrastructure, tourism, manufacturing, agro-processing, to make sure that we create the jobs we want. We create the wealth we want at the end of the 5 years under the new Dawn government, and working with the talk of the president, who is our first and the chief salesman in terms of investment and trade. And we're very proud of him.
Yeah. You know, I must say thank you so much, Mr. Alwampa, for joining us in Spring TV's Money Watch.
Thank you so much. It's
And
been a
you
privilege.
sound like there's a lot. In fact, I will get back to you because the way you've spoken, I would like to come back to you maybe after 6 months and say, where are we in terms of some of the things that you've said this one? It's very encouraging, sir, but thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you so much. Please come back to us at the end of 6 months,
Yeah.
hold us to account with what we say,
Yes.
so that we work together, the media, the country at large, so that we are actually accountable to the things we say. But I can assure you, you will find a lot of outputs, a lot of success,
Yeah.
and a lot of good results. So thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure to be on Spring TV.
Fantastic. There you have it. I think Mr. Alwampa is just basically closing our show, but he is the acting Director General for Zambia Development Agency, Mr. Albert Alwampa. I think you've read for yourself. It's very encouraging. And what best encouragement would you need if not coming from the President himself, who is in the forefront pushing the agenda of growing the private sector in Zambia for locals and by locals. I can't wait for 5 years from now, looking at what ZAMBIA has planned and has aimed to do within the 5 years. My name is Joella Chomba. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.